FNAF fan games have been around since the very beginning of the franchise, and by now, there are hundreds upon hundreds of them. With so many out there, it's inevitable that some fan games take a dark, bizarre, or downright disturbing turn, leaving players with an unsettling experience. In this video, we'll be counting down 7 of the most bizarre and terrifying FNAF fan games ever created. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel to help it grow. Your comments mean a lot and really help out. Now, with that said, sit back, get comfortable, and let's dive into the 7 most bizarre and terrifying FNAF fan games. We kick off the list with Welcome to Fredbears, a fan game that was released very recently but has already made an impact on those who played it. This is a 3D survival horror indie game developed by Mitnick, inspired by Scott Cawthon's Five Nights at Freddy's series. It's actually a revamped version of the original 2022 release, featuring brand new mechanics, improvements to existing ones, and a complete visual overhaul including Fredbear and a fresh cast of characters. The original game was developed in under 2 weeks, but after a year and a half without a new project, Mitnick was determined to create something for his fans. This led to the development of Welcome to Fredbear's remake. The story follows William Afton as he explores an abandoned storage and rentals facility in Utah that is set to be permanently shut down. Shortly after entering the storage unit, he realizes he is being hunted by his past creations. Desperate to survive the night, Afton barricades himself in an office where he must defend himself against relentless animatronic threats. Visually, this fan game is stunning. The detailed animatronics, eerie atmosphere, and immersive sound design make it a well-deserved entry on this list. Next up is Shadows Awaken. This time, we're not heading to a restaurant filled with possessed animatronics. The animatronic is coming into our home. Shadows Awaken is a psychological horror fan game developed by Kaisen, inspired by Scott Cawthon's FNAF series. It's a dark, free-roam, chapter-based experience that takes heavy inspiration from Silent Hill's PT. The story follows Michael Afton, who, years after the events of the Bite of 83, is tormented by disturbing memories of his past. What once seemed like a distant nightmare begins to resurface in the form of grotesque, monstrous entities, some of which appear as twisted versions of his childhood friends, who played a role in his brother's death. It's heavily implied that his deceased brother is trying to reach out to him. Even though this fan game is still just a demo, it completely subverts expectations, taking FNAF in a terrifying new direction. Before we go further, we need to talk about something important. The original Sinister Turmoil was one of the first FNAF fan games to promise multiplayer features and a massive roster of animatronics to choose from, including variants and even characters from other fan games. However, the project was too ambitious, and with limited development time, it was ultimately canceled. But the creator Angus later released Sinister Turmoil, Sewers, a small glimpse of what the full game could have been. Despite being a short game, Sinister Turmoil, Sewers is an incredibly well-made free-roam horror experience, featuring stunning graphics, atmospheric level design, and terrifying animatronics. Here's the official synopsis. Beneath the abandoned Fredbear and Friends funland, horrors lurk in the shadows. Mangle has been unleashed into the sewers, and you're trapped down there with it. As you navigate the maze-like tunnels, you must find a way out, while avoiding the monsters that have only one goal: to kill you. Juniors was a breath of fresh air for FNAF fan games when it was released, and it's often regarded as one of the best, if not the best, fan games of its time. As the name suggests, the game revolves around Juniors, a restaurant with animatronics that has been temporarily closed due to paranormal occurrences. To uncover the mystery, an investigation is launched, and it's up to you to determine which animatronic is possessed by the malevolent spirit haunting the place. After agreeing to take part in the ongoing investigation, you're introduced to Bear, a passive spirit who becomes your companion in the fight against the evil lurking within the eerie animatronic suits. But that same evil wants more than just your life. It wants Bear. Juniors is an investigative horror game where each night, a select group of animatronics becomes haunted. Your job is to identify which ones are possessed by searching for subtle clues and disturbances. And let's not forget the incredible boss fight in the final night, which elevates this fan game to a must-play experience. As if that wasn't enough, the developers are currently working on a DLC remaster built in Unreal Engine, featuring stunning graphical improvements, and even teasing a brand new animatronic that will stalk us through the nights. Taking the bronze medal on this list is A Shadow Over Freddy's, a fan game many consider to be the scariest of all time. A Shadow Over Freddy's is a short, point-and-click horror game that blends free-roam gameplay with the signature FNAF atmosphere. You play as a man trapped inside an abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, forced to navigate its decaying halls while avoiding the darkness that consumes the building. Each night, you must complete different tasks, recover lost memories, and uncover a way to escape this cursed place. This game reintroduces the terror of classic FNAF while adding an entirely new twist to the formula, one that will unsettle even the most experienced fans. No doors, no cameras, no time on your side. Will you survive one last time, in the shadow of your past? And remember, you shouldn't fear the darkness, only what lurks within it. Taking the silver medal is Graveyard Shift at Freddy's, the most terrifying, grotesque, and nightmarish FNAF fan game of 2024. Graveyard Shift at Freddy's is a point-and-click horror game inspired by Scott Cawthon's FNAF series. It's a complete reimagining of the franchise set in Freddy Bear's Eatery and Fun. You play as Sam Rodriguez, an employee working the graveyard shift at Freddy Bear's in Colorado, before mysteriously disappearing. The restaurant took the state by storm after its founder, Steve Mitchell-Raglan, set out to create the ultimate family-friendly dining experience. But as the game unfolds, especially after certain terrifying encounters, it becomes clear that Steve Raglan is hiding a much darker secret. Calling this game grotesque would be an understatement. The atmosphere is suffocating, the horror is relentless, and every night will leave your blood running cold. Unfortunately, I can't provide a download link as the game's Game Jolt page was taken down due to controversy surrounding its creator. However, if you look hard enough, you might still find it somewhere. Finally, the gold medal goes to Dormitabis, the darkest and most disturbing FNAF fan game of all time. With an incredible storyline, eerie visuals, intense atmosphere, and grotesque animatronic designs, Dormitabis is a truly unforgettable experience. The game takes place within the timeline of the first 4 FNAF games, spanning 12 grueling nights inside a twisted version of the afterlife. You must survive against the Javok animatronics, horrific, corrupted versions of the originals, along with other terrifying entities lurking in the shadows. The story picks up after the Fazbear's Fright Fire, an event that sends our protagonist into a limbo-like state. The game's lore is revealed through hidden tapes, the phone guy, and a cardboard theater, slowly unveiling the nightmarish reality behind the events. The tapes are recorded by Garvey, a grotesque, twisted interpretation of William Afton, one that takes FNAF's horror to the next level. Here's the official synopsis. After the flames consumed you, you soon realize that you woke up in a place you cannot recognize. How are you alive? Didn't you just burn to death in that abandoned horror attraction? However, your confusion quickly turns into fear, then panic. As time passes, it becomes clear that you have a special mission to complete, a mission to save the dead. But that doesn't mean the dead will cooperate. As a bonus, Dormitabis has also received a remaster created by a separate team featuring updated visuals, new mechanics, and even more horrifying animatronics. I'll leave links to both versions in the description of this video. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love for you to leave a like and a comment. I'll be reading them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.